Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of Captain Fizz and That Mask Guy. We're running a little bit late tonight, but that's kind of nothing new. But we are here. We're going to do a huge rundown on Fanquest, as well as talk a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out this weekend, as well as a few other things. So sit back, enjoy our music, and we will be right back. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. As always, I am Captain Fizz.
And greetings literally from the seventh moon of thunder. I am that Mask Guy. I am back. I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out, but I'm hoping everyone out there is doing good.
Yeah, we're actually joined by phone by that Mask Guy. We're also joined in studio by Ink as again.
Hello.
So we're going to do this three-pronged attack tonight, which is kind of a unique aspect that we are doing. I know Ink wasn't able to see the movie this weekend, which was kind of unfortunate. But we're going to do a little quick rundown of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that both myself and that Mask Guy saw this weekend. I guess we'll start, Mask Guy. What was your opinions on the movie without, of course, giving spoilers?
You know what? I'm going to try to keep this spoiler-free because the movie just came out on Friday. I try to stay away from spoilers until the movie's been out for at least a week. I will go up and simply go up and say that I went into this movie with pretty high expectations. In my opinion, James Gunn has gotten it right better than any other director has in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including Josh Whedon. And that almost sounds like sacrilege to me because I have a very high opinion of Josh Whedon as a director and as a writer. And I will say this, my opinion, my views were, I went in with high expectations and I was not disappointed. I was arguing to say that it was a better movie than the first Guardians movie was. There was definitely a much more emotional story surrounding family, what really makes up family. And without going into spoilers, it's really hard for me to go off and to really get too much into the story. But there's so much stuff going on there. The storyline with Peter, meeting his father, Ego. I thought and a lot of the emotional, just everything that was surrounding that. And they had another, story with Gamora and her sister. As well as, there was a really interesting kind of a story going on with Yondu and Rocket in it. And I encourage you guys, if you haven't went out and seen this movie yet, please do, because, this was an absolutely incredible story. Sylvester Stallone was in this movie, and he was on screen for less than 5 minutes altogether, but he had what I believe was a truly pivotal role in the movie, and it fit perfectly in here. And I know that, Sly takes a lot of flack in Hollywood for a lot of stuff, but this guy he was absolutely phenomenal. Everything was phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of a lot of the action stuff that Kurt Russell has done in the past. And I'm a huge fan of just everyone who was in this movie. I still can't believe that Dave Bautista has turned into such a good actor, even if he's going to get kind of pigeonholed into roles like Drax the Destroyer. He played played it well. Everyone, this movie, in my opinion, was really did a good job. And I know you weren't a big fan of the music, Cap, but I honestly, I thought that the soundtrack in the movie was great. And there's one song during the movie, I won't give anything away, where Ego explains to Star-Lord why the song is literally about them, and he goes through the first few lines of the song, and it really does, in a lot of ways, explain the two of them. So, again, I encourage you guys to go see it. I'm going to need to give my voice a break for a couple minutes, so I'm going to come straight out and say 4.5 masks out of 5. It was by far one of the best movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe I have seen to date, perhaps the best.
I'm going to second that. For me, it had everything you would possibly want in a Marvel movie. It had mystery, suspense, action, love, pretty much everything bold all together. And unlike most stories, when you look at, for example, Ant-Man, even, Iron Man, as well as Thor, there's so many lines that become twisted and jaded along the way that the story just doesn't seem the way it's meant to be told. The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is that exception. They have found a way to legitimately make everything work the way it is supposed to be. It all blends together. It all makes sense. There's nothing lost along the way. You're not sitting there scratching your head wondering, okay, what did I just miss? It is pretty self-explanatory all the way through, which I think is awesome. What's even better is I believe this is one of the only Marvel movies to actually break the Marvel sequel curse.
I was going to bring that up too. It really seems that since Marvel has started to produce movies, that the sequels have not lived up to the first movie, and you could go off and you can go through almost every single one, including Avengers: Age of Ultron. None of them have been as good as the first one, and I mean, you get down to like Iron Man 3, and I mean, it was a pale comparison to even Iron Man 2, which honestly was not as good as the first one. But yeah, I mean, it is absolutely incredible.
Not only did the fans like it better, but it made more money. It's not always that more money means a better movie. That's pretty much a given, right? But in this case, more money is literally a better movie. Fans left happier. I literally wanted to walk back into the theater and see it again. I usually wait a couple days before I see a movie again, or at least a day. This is literally, I wanted to go back to back.
Well, I mean, you and I were at a barbecue over the weekend, and a mutual friend of ours said he was going to go off and he was going to go see the movie. I was like, I mean, you saw me there. I was in no shape to go, but my wife, if they had had a free seat, she would have jumped us on. I mean, there are few Marvel movies that my wife truly loves, and and for her to go off and to want to go off and to see Marvel movie a second time within the span of 24 hours just tells you exactly how good it is. And yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking forward to see where James Gunn goes. I don't know if you've heard the story, but when James Gunn was writing the script for the original Guardians of the Galaxy, he went off and he sent a copy of it to Josh Whedon. And Josh Whedon went off, and his only critique was, it's not enough James Gunn. He wanted to hear more of James Gunn's voice in the movie. And so, Josh, and, well, not Josh Whedon, but James Gunn went off, and he was holding back. And so for, Josh Whedon to say, no, you need to, to put more of yourself into this, really encouraged him to do it. And it turned out to be an absolutely phenomenal movie, which is, I think, part of the reason why I think James Gunn is perhaps the greatest director, and as far as making movies are for Marvel. I mean, I love Josh Whedon, but I don't know if his hands were tied when he was doing Age of Ultron or what, but it just kind of fell flat in a lot of ways.
I definitely agree with you. Gunn is one of those ones that you have to respect. There are no other words for such an iconic director as him. He has like hands of gold on everything he touches, and I definitely understand why he would want to try to hold back on a movie like this because of the Marvel curse. Sometimes if you put too much into it, it becomes like Batman v Superman. You have too much in a short span of time. So I definitely understand his reasoning for wanting to hold back, but a director like him can't afford to.
Oh, I absolutely, I'm looking forward to whatever James Gunn does in Guardians, next. It's interesting because I don't remember who said this, but someone said that they want him to go off and would love for him to go off and to do a movie based off of the Borderlands video game franchise. And I don't know if either of you guys are familiar with that series or not.
I am a huge Borderlands fan. I have every Borderlands game out there except for the Tales one.
It is an epic game that deserves its own movie. And if anyone's to make a movie about Borderlands, it is going to be James Gunn.
Hands down on that.
I think.
You there?
Yes, we are here.
Dude, I'm the one here with the breathing problem, and you guys are responsible for trying to make sure we don't have any dead air here.
Well, we just assumed like you died in your chair there. You went quiet, so.
Not yet, man. Not yet.
So I think Ink actually has a question for both of us.
Actually, yeah. Okay, you guys, as you guys have been saying, you guys have seen the movie and that. So I had to ask you both this one question. What did you guys think about when Baby Groot was trying to touch the death button?
It was absolutely hilarious. The thing is, what you see in the trailer is pretty much it. That is about the extent of the whole thing. I do love the fact, and again, I won't give away too much, but throughout the movie, they kept trying to give Baby Groot directions on, trying to get him to either bring them things, or more as you saw in the trailer, Rocky trying to, instruct him on how to use the device without going up and blowing them all up instantly.
Okay.
And it's absolutely hilarious because he isn't able to go off into follow directions at all, and on a couple of occasions before that scene, you see that other people end up having to help Groot accomplish what he needs to accomplish. And so, let's just say that, it was absolutely hilarious. It was, I honestly thought, okay, I've seen the trailer 100 times. I'm not going to laugh when I see it on the big screen, and I laugh. Baby Groot might be my favorite Marvel character of all time. I'll tell you that.
I have to touch on this a little bit more, because the only thing that would have made that scene even remotely better, which wouldn't take, or would take a whole lot, to be honest, would be if he was dancing while trying to not hit the stupid red button of death.
I guess, but you would have had any music, and there's a pretty good explanation as to why there is no music at that point. I will say
this is Groot. You need music.
Well, yes, but if you remember, at the end of the first Guardians movie, Groot is dancing in his flower pot, but every time Drax turns around, he freezes. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie where Groot is dancing to music, and during a fight, and during one scene, and during the fight scene, Groot's dancing along, and Drax falls next to him, and Drax stares at him, and he